When night draws near, round 7 o'clock or so, on a Saturday of a convention weekend, one of the most favored of con agendas steps up stage. The Grand Masquerade. Depending on the size of the convention, the masquerade will be held differently, but as a whole, it's a talent show of sorts. A competition for the best made costumes and most well thought out, or funny, skits. Now there are 3 classes. There's the novice class, the journeyman class, and the master class. Adam again will help guide you through them all.
So I went to the masquerade.
All right. Welcome to our show this evening. Skip to the past.
So some of them were really stupid. Some were really awesome, and some made me go, okay, I can see it if I imagine. There was some people that were really good with being in front of a large audience, and you could tell. And there are some people that have probably never been in front of a large audience, and you can tell. So the showmanship was everywhere. The costumes were everywhere.
Look around here. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Tadar will insert these razor-sharp swords through the sides of the cabinet, one by one. Now, Tadar will ask the volunteer to step from the cabinet.
This one woman had this costume. I'm pretty sure she tore down her curtains to make. She made dragons or something on the back of it and sewed it together. It was a last minute type costume thing. She made it from scraps from the con, and I thought that was extremely impressive that anybody was able to do that.
Sirius Cybernetics Corporation, I've been upgraded to a combat support drone, and now it's Marvin, take out that munitions dump, please. Marvin, lay down some cover fire, would you? There's a good chap. Marvin, can you blow up that bridge? Can I blow up that bridge? Here I am, brain the size of a planet, and they ask me if I can blow up a bridge. Call that job satisfaction, because I don't. Ugh, life. Don't talk to me about life.
Please stay in your seats.
So, if anything, I bet you if I had schizophrenia, I would have loved it even more.
Now after the masquerade, it may be late, but no one goes to bed. Welcome to the parties of science fiction fantasy conventions.
Usually, a very small percentage of them are any kind of trouble to speak of.
Never let a woman handcuff you. Only bad things can happen.
It's usually people that don't know anything about science fiction conventions and see that there's a party and free alcohol. Those are the problems that we need to keep out. If we can head them off, keep them out of the doors, 95% of our job is done.
There was a bunch of parties upstairs. It wasn't like, and what made it even funnier was that there's like it's like a regular, I don't know, hotel bedroom that I've always been in. Like 2 beds, and then there's 2 windows, and then there's a bathroom. Maybe a mirror, and maybe some naked person that's drunk and can't get up. But other than that, it was like rooms like that. And they had these parties where like 50 people were cramming, it seemed like 50 people were cramming inside of it.
I don't really remember much, but I remember I was a virgin, and the girl asked me if I wanted to change that.
And there was food, and there was alcohol, and there was people that loved dressing up, and there was people like me who didn't wear, well, I did wear something, but I didn't wear anything like them.
And I remember one party, Sunday morning, we were cleaning up, and the room was quite literally bed deep in debris. There was a couple of people passed out. There's paper plates, there's cups, there's bags, bed linens thrown everywhere. There was a size 42D lime green bra, and we don't remember anyone who could have worn that being at the party, and we certainly don't remember anyone taking one off.
A naked man walks into the bathroom, right? He walks into the bathroom, puts his shoulder on my hand, and goes, "You ready, bro?" And as soon as he walks away, I busted out that door, and I ran outside through the streets of Atlanta to the convention, and I hid for 5 hours until I thought it was safe to go back to the room.
Filk. Did I get the word? Filk.
You get the word.
Filk.
All right. Filking is a short last leg in our journey because it usually runs later than everything else, sometimes till 6 in the morning.
The music of science fiction and fantasy, especially the fandom of science fiction and fantasy.
Well, Filk, it was a misprint, folk songs. Filk to me is really anything that people sing at a science fiction convention.
Songs of imagination. Frank Zappa used to say that he didn't like doing love songs because anybody can do a love song. So he did things like Joe's Garage and Apostrophe and all that kind of stuff like that. Same kind of theory, it's just a little more focused.
It can be anything from a folk song, regular folk song, to space, to Star Trek, to Star Wars, to original music, songs that are parodies to someone else's music. They can be as elaborate as a band, a rock band playing music to somebody singing a cappella.
Charlie, I have no idea.
In technical terms, you can say it's whatever people play in a Filk room.
Better guitarist than anybody in the building, he doesn't know what key he's playing as he's looking at it.
I want to die like they do in sci-fi, really glamorous death, a really famous last breath. I want to die like they do in sci-fi, I want to do something new. If it's the last thing I do.
So now that you know exactly what a science fiction fantasy convention is, past the stereotype, I asked one last question to everyone that I met. What are the people like?
Fandom is a collection of social misfits. We're the ones who got derided as nerds and geeks at school and got beat up and pantsed and pushed over the books and the whole thing like that. We have our own different social circles here, and those social circles are based more on intellect and emotion than appearance and physicality. So
people at science fiction conventions are very accepting. You can do your thing. You can be dressed up as a Klingon or be fairly normal dressing, or and you're accepted.
What I notice the most about people at these sci-fi conventions is that they're really sweet. That they're all here because they have a common interest, and they tend to be very childlike, very sweet, very open, and willing to have fun and play.
Immediately, I'm impressed by how gracious everybody is. Everybody always warns you, those cons, they're crazy and people are going to mob you, and I haven't found that to be the case at all. Everybody seems to be very respectful and extremely knowledgeable.
Oh my gosh, enthusiastic, diehard, incredibly generous with their energy and with their spirit.
And you see people from all over the world, all over every strata of job. I mean, we're all represented, but we all come together because we have a love for this kind of culture.
I don't feel nervous around anyone really. I don't feel like anybody's judging me because everyone's doing their own thing.
There's very little judgment in these environments. It's a place where people can come and just let it all hang out, and because everybody knows that they're a little bit maybe off or into something that other people aren't into, there's really no judgment. There's really an openness that isn't in a lot of other places, and I really appreciate that about people who are open-minded.
Yes, some of the people are a little bit odd, but that's what I like about them. They're fun. They're intelligent people. They're people who looked around at the world and looked around at what the world handed them and said, what if things were different? Do I have to accept everything that everybody's told me, or can I question things?
That they pay so much attention to what it is that you're doing in the world that you're living in.
So they're just very inventive, intelligent, and creative people.
I never get tired of seeing an 8-foot Wookiee, let's put it that way.
And there's something else that I have to say about sci-fi cons that totally blows out the stereotype. And that is that there are loads and loads of hot, smart chicks at science fiction conventions.
And in fact, I think I told you yesterday that I've never been attracted to an alien woman until today, which was yesterday.
At Dragon Con, I have thoughts I've never thought before. One of those thoughts is, wow, I wish that scantily clad, really hot chick who's standing in front of me would get the heck out of the way so that I could see those two even hotter, more scantily clad women who are posing for cameras, okay? You don't think that anywhere else in the world. And the cool thing is, too, if you meet one of those women and you happen to, make a Monty Python quote, they don't look at you like you're an idiot. A lot of them run around with t-shirts that say, "Talk nerdy to me." And I just think it's fantastic. It's a place where those of us who don't always fit in the outside world can totally fit in and be the cool kids for a while.
That's my point. There's no judgment.
This is Adam Schwind with... cut! Have a nice night.
Back when I was 11, when dreaming wasn't so hard, I remember the day we decided to say there were Cylons in my backyard. There were Cylons in my backyard. We were Jerry and JJ and Alex, with Javi and Cesar too. But we changed our names to play our games and become Galactica's crew, as we had a job to do. And Starbuck was my wingman and Apollo had my back. My friends all flew together to face the fierce attack. So we jumped on board a Viper, made of duct tape and cardboard. In the summer's light, we faced the fight against the Cylon horde, and the monster stars we soared. Then Alex became an attorney, now Cesar's a CPA. But once we were kings with our childish things, till we put those things away, and the Cylons won the day. Now Jerry's teaching high school and JJ's in Iraq, and all I have are memories fading